Thank you all for coming. We are excited to play for you some pieces that we started learning during the COVID lockdown. For a while, we practiced on 2 pianos to keep socially distanced. We are pleased that life is almost back to normal and we can play again for you. Our first piece is Sonata in B-flat major by Mozart. This piece was written in 1774 when Mozart was 18 years old. It was first performed in Salzburg by Mozart and his sister Nannerl. It has 3 movements: fast, slow, and fast. Mozart is known for his beautiful melodies, and this is true for this piece, especially the slow movement. He likes to hand off the melody from one player to the other. I think of this as what happens in a relay race when the baton gets handed to the next team member. You will notice this feature in all 3 movements of this sonata. So, enjoy Mozart's youthful exuberance, his humor, and his mischievousness. And please hold your applause until the end of the piece.
the pieces that we are playing for you were composed by the late Romantic French composer Gabriel Fauré, who lived from 1845 to 1924. The group of pieces we are playing are entitled the Dolly Suite, and he wrote it over a period of a few years from 1893 to 96. It consists of 6 very different pieces, and Jane and I are going to play 4 of those pieces for you today, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 6. The first piece, called Berceuse, which means lullaby in French, it might be the most familiar to you. Fauré had a long-term affair with his mistress, Emma Bardock, and she had a little daughter, and evidently the little daughter was known as Dolly in the family, therefore the name, the Dolly Suite. And Berceuse is a lovely lullaby written on her first birthday, for her first birthday. The second piece, as you can see there in your program, is called Meow. It does not refer to cats, which it sounds like it would, but evidently it's a reference to Dolly's attempt to pronounce her brother's name, which was Raoul. So I think it's a piece that's just about childlike antics. By now she's no longer 1, she's probably grown up 3 or 4, and it's full of staccato and jumping all over the place, a lot of exuberant childlike energy, using the full keyboard. And then there's one place that's quiet. Maybe the children finally got tired and they lay down and rested for a while. The slower third piece is called Le Jardin de Dolly, Dolly's Garden, and it's full of gently rolling melodies in both parts, all 4 hands, and it uses ever-changing harmonies and makes use of the whole keyboard, creating a very rich soundscape. The last piece, the 6th one, is La Espagnole. As you can tell from the title, it's a lively Spanish dance, and it also traverses the entire keyboard. And our hands are often intertwining, and it culminates in a rousing unison finish at the end. One reason we were hoping you would sit over here is so that hopefully you can see all 4 hands and what they're doing. There are many challenges to duet playing, and I would just like to mention 2 of those today. Jane and I have played together now about 4 years, and maybe by now we're finally learning sort of how to play together. So the challenge number 1 is how to make these 4 hands sound like one pianist, how to stay together rhythmically and musically to feel the phrases together. So how to stay together, but at the same time, how to stay apart physically, how to keep out of each other's way. Jane mentioned about Mozart that he often handed the baton from one player to the other. I don't think as a whole, Fauré, that was his goal. He has us playing both at the same time, sharing the keys close together. Maybe as a composer who played with his students and maybe his lovely female students, he liked being close to them and bumping into them all the time. But anyway, it's a challenge for us to play together and yet to keep out of each other's way physically. It's been a journey for us, and we're still growing and hopefully improving, but it's a journey we enjoy, even though, you know, we're just a couple of octogenarians, as some of you are or some of you have been, and we all know our bodies change. We have some arthritis in our hands or other problems. We don't multitask as well as we did when we were younger. Sometimes we don't hear as well. But we're still alive, as all of you are. So we're enjoying the journey, and we hope we are bringing you some pleasure today. Edge. Yeah. Do you have enough? Yeah, sure. My mask.
is Morning Has Broken by Joel Rainey. Joel Rainey was born in 1956, and he's still alive and composing music. And he wrote this piece for four hands. He's an American composer who was shaped by many musical styles. As a child, he attended a Baptist church in rural Alabama, where he learned to love the old hymns and gospel music. As he grew up, he was influenced by musical theater, jazz, pop music, and he also studied piano performance at Juilliard. But finally, he returned to his roots and became a church musician and a composer of sacred music. Joel Rainey's arrangement of Morning Has Broken is in a different style from the one you might know by Cat Stevens. You can hear the lovely Gaelic melody played in several different styles with interludes. Listen for the jazzy chords that give color to the harmony. This piece was first performed in 2010 at Pleasant Hill Presbyterian Church in Duluth, Georgia. thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoyed it.